All right, welcome back to Louisville Real Estate Investment Property Management, LREI Property Management, where we're going to do a review on what to buy. Oftentimes I get asked, what type of property should I purchase when I'm doing real estate investing? And so this is real quick and simple. I'm going to show you how to find properties and set up an alert just using everyday tools like Zillow. You can ask your agent to do the same thing that I'm doing here, or even share this video and tell them to set you up an alert just like this. So first off, I'm going to pull up a map of Louisville, Kentucky and southern Indiana and the surrounding area. And I'm looking for properties for sale. The next thing that I'm looking for is I'm usually looking to buy single family houses. So I would also consider townhomes. Anything without an HOA really is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to start to trim that down. Typically, a lot of people are looking for 3 bedrooms. There's some 2-bedroom deals that are out there. So you might want to do a separate search for 2-bedroom. If you don't see 3-bedroom, go on back and try 2 bedrooms. I don't mind 2-bedroom rental properties. You just have to adjust the price of the home to do that. Another thing that I put in here is the age of the home. We talked about that in my previous video. So I like 1960s or newer. I'm going to apply this to my filter. And I also like anything with a minimum of maybe 900 square feet. And then I'm going to do a maximum of probably 1,300 square feet. I'm not looking for a huge house. I like to keep it pretty simple. 1960s or newer, 900 to 1,300 square foot type home. Looking for single family. Now price is going to be important to me. So now you can see these red dots. And if you looked at my previous video where we talked about the median home price of a home and what we're looking for in a home, you'll see these red dots kind of really line up with what we had on our map, on our heat map in that previous video. So it's interesting how things start to shape up here. The last thing I want to look at is price. So I want to come over here, and I don't really have a minimal. Maybe I'm not a heavy rehabber, so let's just go a minimal of 50,000. I don't really want to mess with anything below that. I'm looking to purchase homes in the 70 to, if it's 2-bedroom, 1 bath, maybe I'll go, 50 to 70s, and maybe I don't really not going to go much below 50. If I'm looking for kind of a low renovation type project that's quick turn, I wouldn't get into anything too heavy. And then for my max, I like to keep it about 110,000 if I'm going to purchase it. I do need some equity in there. And then, so here it is. Here's my list. It pops up here. And if we go back to that previous video and if you haven't seen it yet, go on back and watch it. You'll see that a lot of these things fall right in the area of what we talked about. Shepherdsville is a little bit outside of the area of where we were. The drive time gets a little long, but like I said, this is my sweet spots right down here. This is what I like. And the auction homes, oh, I can't stand them. They're always, there's no real way to get them out of here that I'm aware of. I don't really want to deal with auctions. I'm not really looking for foreclosures or coming soon. I'm not currently into chasing for sale by owner properties. Some of you might, but I'm really, really lazy when it comes to this. I just want to make an offer and see if it gets accepted before I even leave the house. So my idea here is I just want to get a contract before I go to the property, and then I'll negotiate, a little bit further from there. Or I don't know. I just don't have good luck with for sale by owner. It seems like somebody who's full-time investor would have good luck, but I'll just leave that to them. So here we are. We've got everything kind of narrowed down. I'll hover over this. It's an auction house. I'm not going to touch an auction house. It's just too much trouble. I'm not going to get in a situation where some new investor can bid me up. So here's what I'm going to look at. Here's an ideal property. Look at this, 107,500. Very nice. It's in great shape. This is just a real no-brainer for somebody who wants hassle-free investing right here. If you've got money, you want a home that's going to have a tenant, somebody's going to live there 5 to 7 years. I mean, look at the doors. You've got some 6-panel doors in here, which are really nice. It means that the newer construction type material. Actually, let's go down and just look. Built in 1980, not a bad year. That's pretty good. And then if you look at the home, a nice 3-bedroom, 1 bath, probably a slab foundation. It doesn't look like it's raised very much. Good clean roof on it and roof line, no sagging. And it looks pretty, all in all, it looks pretty good. I'd say the one thing that probably isn't here that I'm looking for is maybe a storm door with that low overhang. I might put a storm door on it. There's other investors out there who absolutely don't do storm doors because of the maintenance that it costs for them. But I'd like to give people a nice home that they want to live in. So when I look at this, the driveway, it's not really concrete. I think I'd rather have a concrete driveway or an asphalt at least. I'm going to have to definitely refresh that every so many years with some gravel. But gravel's not that expensive. And so all in all, not a bad deal. I kind of like this home. If you were to pick it up and move it east, it'd probably be worth 130, 140,000. As it sits right here, let's just go to price tax history. Listed for sale 107.5. Somebody bought it 4 years ago for 88. I mean, that's about what I would have paid 4 years ago for this property. Now it's 107.5. I really feel like if you were to do the comps on this thing, and I'm not going to do them in this video, it's probably going to come up closer to 115, 120. So I feel like that's kind of underbid. Actually, let's look at how many days on market we've got here. 37 days on Zillow. So I don't know what the neighborhood looks like. I haven't drove down the street, but all in all, I'd say this looks like a good investment property that I would look at. Now, if you're doing this search every single day, you might want to set this up one day on market and then create you a subscription so you get notified the first day that they hit the market. That's the way that I would set this up. But seeing as how most of these have already been picked through and I'm really looking for a sweet deal, maybe I'll drop it down to 7 days. I only want to look at the last 7 days of inventory. If I look at the last one day, I've only got one thing that might be a deal. If I pop in here and take a look, 109.9 seems a little high for that area. The estimate is 75,000. Doesn't seem like a good deal for me. So let's go back into just so I can have enough days, enough inventory to look at. Let's just go back and take a look at what's here. Let's see. Let's look at the estimate on this one. I wonder if it. I don't even think it tells us here. So yeah, interesting. Well, we could always check a property next door, see what it's worth. Maybe it's on here. No, not much in this area, but you could pull comps and walk down the street. So let's look at some other areas that are pretty good for investing. So Highview, I like this area here. This house looks older. It's an auction home. Not going to mess with it. Another auction. Now here's something. RL Drive. It does have that overhang, which is a little more maintenance than I like, but all in all, a good rental grade finish home. I don't really care much for carpet, so eventually I want to replace that with something that's not going to carry bugs and be dirty and have to replace it every time I move a tenant out. You've got some homeowner type finishes here with this fire pit really close to the house. That's not something I'd really want to keep, but all in all, 92.5, they're asking 88,355 estimate. So it might be something where I throw an offer out for $70,000 and see what happens. You know, if they start negotiating with me, then we know we might have something. If not, oh well. It's been on market 486 days, so can't hurt to throw an offer out there and just see what they're willing to entertain at this point. Another one I might look at here, 90,000 estimates, 90,000. They're asking basically right what Zillow's telling them to. You're in Fairdale, good blue collar working neighborhood. You're going to have people with some good steady incomes or skilled trades be able to move jobs. So I like this that, the finishes are kind of above grade. So it looks almost like an owner occupant type home, not really so much of a rental at this point. And it's not been flipped, not really up to date so much. 1963, might check for some aluminum wiring in there and see what it looks like. Maybe it's in there, maybe it's not. Last sold for 88.5. Probably this owner doesn't have much wiggle room. I might approach them with a subject to financing on this one and just say, hey, you've got a property, it needs some work. Look, maybe there's a gutter missing across the front here. I can't really tell what's happening there, but obviously it's got some exterior kind of work that might be needed and some updated on the interior. I'm going to have to put 5,000 to 10,000 in this property to get it rentable. So I need you to seller finance the rest, maybe 0% for 10 years or something. I don't know. And then I'll purchase it from you. So this will be a good one of those that I might shoot a lowball offer and then maybe even a second offer that comes right behind it to their agent that says, hey, seller finance deal. I'll take it, fix it up, and manage it. I just need you to carry the financing on it. So here's another one, 104,995, probably same situation, 31 days. That might not be that desperate just yet, but can't hurt. Shoot out a $75,000 offer and see what happens. So kind of get the point. What's going on here as I go around and I pick through these properties and I'm looking at, look at this one, right? Well below the estimate. Somebody made a pretty big reduction, 12,600 really quick, unless they found some big problem. Looks like it's a decently updated with a, I hope that's a half bath. If not, it's pretty tight. Uh, this one looks like it's a decent rental. You know, I don't know if I would Section 8 over there. 9,900 seems a little high for a Section 8 property, but it doesn't seem bad. I kind of like this one. 23 days on Zillow might be overlooked because it's in southern Indiana. I would probably shoot an offer on this one as well, maybe something closer to the $80,000 range and see what they say. So this is how I hunt for properties and exactly how I go about finding more rentals to put into my portfolio. Get your offer out there with your agent written on the property. Just try and get the seller negotiating with you. If you can get in negotiations, then you can lock up the contract so nobody else can come behind you, and then you can get the property that you're looking for. And this is how I would spend my day each morning with a cup of coffee, finding out exactly what I might be interested in buying for that day. So thanks again. Louisville Real Estate Investments. If you have rental properties, think of us. We'd love to manage them for you. Thank you.